it in the air right now. It's all around, I see it everywhere. It's the power, yeah, yeah, God's power. It's the power to move any star. It's the power to heal your broken heart. It's the power, yeah, God's power. So don't hold back, no, don't hold still. 'Cause God is here and He is real. Take 4 steps to the left, to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn it around and move to the right. 1, 2, 3. Now take tiny little jumps forward to the front. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 jumps back, but you better look back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now freeze. And everybody clap your hands. Now stop. I feel it in the air right now. It's all around, I see it everywhere. It's the power, yeah, yeah, God's power. It's the power to move any star. It's the power to heal your broken heart. It's the power, yeah, God's power. So don't hold back, no, don't hold still. God is here and He is real. Take 4 steps to the left, to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn it around and move to the right. 1, 2, 3. Now take tiny little jumps forward to the front. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 jumps back, but you better look back. Let's do it all again right now. Take 4 steps to the left, to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn it around and move to the right. 1, 2, 3. Now take tiny little jumps forward to the front. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 jumps back, but you better look back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now freeze. And everybody clap your hands. Now stop.
Welcome to Sunday morning. We're glad that you're here today with us, joining us for another kids lesson. And what I would like to, just one reminder before we get started on our lesson, is just a reminder about VBS. So we're doing a backyard VBS Bible Club this year. So hopefully you guys can join with another family and do it together. We're going to give you all their kits and videos. You'll still have the skits and the buddies and all the cool stuff. So remind your parents, if you haven't signed up yet, make sure you do that soon. And we will look forward to seeing you at Backyard Bible Club VBS. Okay, now let's get into our lesson. Today, we are moving right through the Old Testament, and today we find ourselves in 1 Kings chapter 18. And we're going to talk about Elijah and how he helped people see that God is real. Now, there's lots of things in our lives that can distract us and that can pretend to be as powerful as God. There's things like games and TV shows and things that we spend our time on, maybe celebrities that we think a lot of, but they're not God. And God is real and God is powerful, and we have to make sure that we keep pretend separate from reality. So I like to watch TV shows too, and one of my favorite Avengers is Hawkeye. Do you guys know who Hawkeye is? He's the guy that has the bow and arrow, and he does some really cool stuff with it. But he's a pretend character, right? Can you think of a pretend character from a TV show that you think is really cool, that you wish was real? Tell the people in your family around you. Go ahead, shout it out loud. So those are really cool characters, people that seem really neat in a movie, but they're not real. They can't actually do anything for us. They can't take care of us or hear our prayers. So let's not let those things get distracting, because God is real and He does hear our prayers and He does take care of us. And that's what Elijah wanted to teach the people. So in our real Bible story today from 1 Kings, we read that Elijah was running and hiding from a guy named King Ahab. Now, King Ahab was trying to get rid of Elijah because Elijah wanted to tell people who God was and what he loved. And Elijah was a prophet. And King Ahab didn't want him around, so Elijah was hiding. Well, Elijah ended up with all these other people, and those people all worshiped Baal. Now, Baal was a statue, something they might put on a shelf or out in their yard, but he wasn't able to do anything for them. But these people were convinced that Baal was worth their time. So Elijah wanted to show them that Baal wasn't real. So he said, go ahead, build altars and make structures. So an altar is kind of like wood and stones that they would offer a sacrifice, a I'm sorry or something like that to a god. And so Elijah said, go ahead, make your altars and then pray to Baal and see if anything happens. See if fire comes down and burns up your altar. And so the people, they sang and they danced and they prayed and they were all into this, and nothing happened because Baal isn't real. So Elijah, he built an altar of stones and wood, and he had them soak it with tons of water just to prove that God is real. And then he prayed and he said, God, today I need you to put fire on this altar so that the people will know that you are real. And guess what? Fire came down from heaven and burned up the altar. It burned up the wood. It burned up all the water that was soaking everything. God made fire come down because he wanted the people to know that he is real. God listens to our prayers. He hears us and he takes care of us. But we have to make sure that we're trusting in the real God, right? Now I want you to imagine and pretend that you're building a garden. So pretend you have, even if you want to go get some putty in your house, Play-Doh or something like that, get it and you can make a garden out of your putty or your Play-Doh. And so pretend you're making a garden and maybe pretend you're sprinkling seeds on it and watering it, because those are all the things a garden needs, right? So, and now you can watch your garden and see what grows out of it. Oh, wait a minute. Nothing's going to grow because it's a pretend garden, right? It's not actually going to do anything. But check this out. So I actually this summer decided I was going to try a real garden. And I put soil in the garden and I put seeds in the garden and I watered it, and God made things grow. So look at my garden. It's great. There's things I can eat. I actually ate radishes the other day from my garden. They were delicious. And that is a real garden compared to your pretend garden. Do you see the difference of real and pretend? So we need to trust God that he is real, and all this other stuff out there, though it's fun and interesting and it keeps us busy, it's not God. God takes care of us. God listens to us. He loves each one of you. And there's ways we can see God all around us, working in our lives and working in our hearts. So one way that I see God is when I'm in nature. I love to be in nature and see the things that God made. Last summer, I was at the beach on the ocean out in Massachusetts. And from the beach, I was standing on the beach and I saw a whale jumping. And we would see his water spout coming up. And it reminded me that God is everywhere. And he made really cool animals way out in the ocean. And he blesses us with those God sightings. So this week, I would love for you to pay attention and see, where do you see God working? Do you see him in nature? Do you see him answering prayers? Do you see him helping you feel calm when something is stressful, or you feel anxious, or you feel that yuckiness in your belly? Maybe God is giving you peace. That's a great way that we can see God, because God is real and he loves us. So our verse this week is Psalm 119. Verse 105. It's the longest chapter in the entire Bible, 119. But we are going to look at verse number 105. And it says, your word is a lamp unto my feet and a light to my path. And when we put God's word in our heart, it helps us go the right direction. And it helps us see how real God is. So work on memorizing that verse this week, Psalm 119, verse 105. Your word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. And I will hope to see you very soon, either at church or somewhere else around. I'm so glad you're tuning in to Sunday School videos. I will see you later. Bye.
Everyone dance!
4 jumps back, but you better look back.
Do it all again right now.
Take 4 steps to the left, to the left.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Turn it around and move to the right.
1, 2, 3,
Now take tiny little jumps, 4 to the front.
1, 2, 3, 4.
4 jumps back, but you better look back.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Now freeze, and everybody clap.